Blog Talk Radio.
Following ingredients include a look behind the scenes. Cook uncovered until hot. Add grooves to taste.
I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl.
The accident was over a year ago. A second woman has been elected president. The 12th planet has been named in the solar system. The last wild polar bear has died. I slept through it all. I was here for my waking. He called it a beginning. He said it was good. I think he may have thought that anything I did was good.
Welcome to Transition Radio, live from Hollywood, Florida, with your host and hostess, Mark Angelo and Jessica Lynn Cummings. Show for trans folks, by trans folks, here to let your voice be heard. Well, hello and good evening, and welcome to another edition of Transition Radio on our new night, Tuesday night. Now we have Tuesday nights radio show and Thursday nights TV show, Transgender Tuesdays and Thursdays. Yes, the 3 T's. The 3 T's. Yes, we're live from Wilton Manors, Florida. Yes. Today on our show we have Shauna Bagett, an activist for equality for the LGBTIQA community. But before we bring her on, we want to thank our sponsor.
TheBreastFormStore.com. They have everything you need for your cross-dressing and transgender needs. Visit the website. Until then, Transition Radio sent you.
Shauna describes herself as a unique, inspiring person and is not afraid of falling down because she quotes, "I will pick myself up and continue where I am headed." She was born in 1961 as a twin that was absorbed into her twin by, as described as both a girl and a boy.
I am a very sensitive and intelligent woman starting over in life. There was a time there were 2 genders in the world, but actually no one noted there was actually a third. That is where she comes in. She says, I am both female and male. I am a 47XXY intersex. What does that mean, you are asking? I have female and male parts.
Some people are born with ovotestes and others with blind vaginas. People come in all sorts of sex chromosomes variations to include XXY, XXX, XYY, XXYY, XXXY, XO, XY female, and XY male. And XX male, female, yes, known as androgen sensitive syndrome, and XX men, XY, XXY, so many X's and so many Y's. It's very confusing. And all sorts of other mosaic patterns. Just mention a few obstacles. She says she broke her vertebrae and had an ovarian cyst, battled stage 3 cancer with kidney stones, and she is now 16 months clean.
I now have 3 blood clots from chemo, 2 in the left lung and 1 in the right eye. One strong lady. I lived in fear most of my life, hiding the female, living my life as a male. I was good at it. Ask any of my friends, did they ever see Shauna? No one does. There were a couple of women who almost seen her, but I am a great actress. I try to explain to people who I am, why I am here, and what I hope to achieve.
She wants to educate the world, per se. The human race is so complex and the standards are way too strict for people like her. Educate is the right term. I will be the teacher, the professor, showing the world my life wasn't easy, but it didn't mean I had to give up either. Why I began my quest was to make wrongs right and help all I could to achieve happiness within me.
So here I am. This is me, and I hope you all know now I am just a woman with a strong voice, a huge heart on my sleeve, and your great friend. This is who I am. Now let's welcome to our show the lovely Shauna Bagett. Hi, Shauna.
Hello, everybody. Hi.
How are you?
Hey, Jess. How you doing?
Good.
So glad
Hey,
you're able
Mark?
to join us. Doing fantastic. A little tired from work, but, life goes on. It's part of being
Hey, Mark?
on.
Mark?
Yes.
I want to wish you a happy birthday.
Oh, thank you so much, Shauna. I've been getting overwhelming amounts of birthday wishes. Still going on today. And
I know. I know how it is.
But I'm
I
very
get those
thankful.
from all over the world.
Yes. I want to thank everybody on Facebook that have wished me a happy birthday and know that I love everyone very, very much.
Yes, and eventually he's going to say, stop reminding me.
I'm getting old, 49. I think I'm going to stop counting from now on. Shauna, explain to our listeners what it is to be intersex.
Oh, boy. Let's see. What is it like to be intersex? Let's see. It's a very tough and grueling situation. I see more doctors than anybody can well imagine for my female gender. In 2008, I had a issue that I thought I had a appendix problem, and it turned out that I had a cyst on my ovary. And that's when I decided then and there that it was time to come out as my female self. I got tired of doing it as a man.
And how was the response when the doctor, here they are thinking you are a man and you had a problem with your appendix, and all of a sudden they discover that you had an ovary, and not only an ovary, the cancerous ovary.
I have an OB-GYN as well, not just a regular doctor. So, I've been watched over the years. They take care of whatever issues I have. When my hormones get too low, or if they get too high, or I started getting my as my friends all say, that I have these incredible mood swings that they go into bunkers. And it works.
Just into bunkers. No, goes into bunkers.
From there.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, where's that buckle?
I remember my first menstrual cycle that I didn't know what was going on. I thought I was bleeding to death. And that's when my mom told me what was happening. And from then on, I had been able to hide the fact that even though I'm a man, I can also hide my female side. And I've done very well in my hiding. I was stealth for 35 years. My best friend of 30 years never knew that I was female.
So explain to us when you had a menstrual cycle and you thought you were bleeding to death. Can you get into a little more detail? Do you have an actual vagina?
Yeah, it's a blind vagina. It's hidden by the skin between, where the vagina belongs.
Okay.
If I were to have surgery, all I have to do is cut the skin and then develop the vulva and all the good parts to make everything pretty. But now there's just a hollow. There's a drum there. You could tap and make noises.
So let me ask you, what was your reaction? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Okay. What was your reaction when you found out, and how did your friends and family handle the news?
My siblings are fantastic. My father, he will not talk to me. He knew of the situation and blames himself for it because it's something, I guess, God made or somebody made. And I tried to explain to him that it happens to one in every 2,500 children when they're born. My mother, whom died when I was 23, was my biggest supporter and my educator. She taught me everything there is to know. about myself and how to adapt. She asked me to stay hidden from the world because there, as you know, the intersex community, the first thing they do to you when you're born is they like to cut you up and make you into a gender that you're not going to like when you get older. So I was saved from that. My parents said to let me decide when I get older what I was going to be. And my father was firstborn, me. He wanted a son. So they put it on my birth certificate as a male. And I grew up as a boy all my life. I went into the service, and I made thousands of friends, and everybody knew Shauna. And it was quite interesting to be a boy in a girl's body, in a girl's mind. I what you call an actress. I can get around and blend in with whatever circle of friends I have. But I didn't. When I did come out, my brothers and sisters all said, they knew it was going to happen eventually. They just didn't know it was going to take so long. And the only reason why I came out 3 times in my whole life. Came out once in my 20s, and I was in the service, so I backed off. I came out again in my 30s after I got my divorce, and I backed. And then, and then that's when I got my cancer later on. And after my cancer, I got to thinking, I probably ain't going to have another chance of doing this. So I came out, and I've been out since. And what I did is I just blended in. Nobody knows when I'm in public that I'm intersex, that I was once a male, unless you're a friend of mine. And they look at me and they go, wow, there's a big transformation.
Right. There is a large community of intersex individuals, and it's really sad the ignorance in our society, how little people actually know about this condition and how judgmental and prejudiced they are about it. And I'm going to ask you, how has your advocacy evolved? And tell our listeners, what do you do for our community?
What I do for the community, I do a lot of, I talk to a lot of politicians. I try to get, I want equality amongst everybody, not just, the trans and the gays and the lesbians and the intersex. I want everybody to be equal. I want to be, I would like to see before I land my box that everybody gets along, whether you're black, white, purple, fat, skinny, different genders. We're all humans. We should be all, treat each other precisely as humans, not as a gender or as a sexual preference or how we look.
Exactly.
I do a lot of speaking to teens in the high schools. That's one of my biggest thrills is to go to the high school and talk to teens that are just coming out or are hiding and they're afraid to do, afraid to say anything. And I just explain to them, the closet is made for your clothes, in order to come out, you got to talk to somebody that will understand you. Try your parents. If your parents reject you, see a school counselor. If the school counselor doesn't do it, I'm sure there's somebody that you can, talk with and help you come out, to the, to be who you are. You shouldn't be able. You should not hide from anybody. I did it for a reason. I did it because I didn't want to be beat up or killed. That was a big thing for me. And growing up as a kid, there was a lot of bullying, but I'll tell you what, I can outrun any one of my bullies, no problem. And if I couldn't, I had my brothers to back me up.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And like you said, we're all human. I mean, you know, no matter how different we look from somebody else, no matter what the color of our skin, you cut us, we all bleed red. So it doesn't matter.
Exactly, and we shouldn't have to ask or demand for our equality. Everyone should be equal, no matter what color, race, gender, or sexual preference you are. I mean, that should be a given. And I can't believe that it's 2013 and we're still fighting for our equality. That's
yeah,
crazy.
And it's ridiculous. I mean, it's crazy. You got and this thing with the marriage equality. I mean, here in Illinois, it should have been passed, but they're going to milk it out. They're going to make their money from it, just like California. And California waited 5 years for it to pass again to be legal, which was ridiculous. They made all this money off of it, and then now all of a sudden it's legal.
Exactly.
And,
well, you know, the thing that I don't understand is marriage, from what I understand, is supposed to be about love in one another, not about who you love. It's about love in general. You know, and then they take away that whole meaning of marriage by saying, oh, because you're the same sex, you can't get married. That's bullshit. Pardon my French. But
well, you put it better than me. I would have said something else.
Let me ask you, do you believe your life to be a gift to help educate the world? And if so, please explain.
A gift. Well, I don't know if it was a gift or a burden, but educating, I'm well versed. I love teaching people the differences in how we are. We all start out as a template, each and every one of us, and then we design our templates to be whoever we want to be, and it shouldn't. And Joe Schmo over on the left and Peter, whoever on the right, should not be able to say, hey, this is how you're supposed to be. No, this is how I'm supposed to be. This is my life. I lead my own path, and I achieve what I want out of my life so I can peacefully lay in the box later on and say, this is what I've already done. I shouldn't have anybody, telling me how I should live my life or where I should live my life or how I should look or what I should be. This is your life. So you go with that template and you design it the way you want it to be designed. I mean, that's the way it is, isn't it? I mean, that's how I look at it. And, I'm even though I'm Catholic, and I'm sorry to say this, but I don't follow the Bible. The Bible to me is like a storybook of people that done things hundreds of years ago. Now, here it is centuries later, and everybody's following. Actually, what you're doing is you're following what they did. Why don't you go out and do and make your own history, so to speak?
Yeah.
That's how I look.
I've always said that I thought that the Bible was like a National Enquirer from many, many years ago that somebody found.
Right.
Ooh, gospel,
Right.
Or it was created by our government to create.
And I'm not, I'm not doing blasphemy or anything to the Bible, but if you believe in that, go for it. I don't believe in it. I believe in, like when I had cancer, and I was explaining this the other night, somebody had sent to me when I was all well and taken care of, a woman asked me, she goes, so did you thank God for helping you? And I looked at her, I said, you know what, God didn't help me. I helped myself. God wasn't there to hold my hand. God wasn't there to administrate the drug into me. It was me doing the whole thing. I'm the one that lost all the weight. I'm the one that lost my hair. I'm the one that had the burns, the second and third degree burns on my back from the radiation. I am the one that did it, not God. God wasn't nowhere to be found. So,
right.
It's who you believe in.
People need to learn to take more responsibility for their lives instead of just putting their hands up and praying and thinking that prayers are going to answer everything. I mean, I respect everybody's beliefs, but people need to learn how to take more responsibility. I want to switch gears back to talking about what we said earlier, that doctors make the decision when the child is born of what gender they feel that that child should be. What would you like to see in the medical community when it comes to the child to determine their gender later on in life versus the correction they're imposed on at birth?
Well, we're trying to pass, the intersex community is trying to pass where when the child is born, the child will grow up and they will determine their own sex and not let the doctors butcher them to death. I don't believe in the pink and blue standards. I believe in the yellow and green. This way you can decide what you want to be as a human. Nobody can tell you what you are. It's what you are inside. And then you let your parents know or the people around you know. And not to be a lab project anymore. That's ridiculous. If they want to do that, they got animals that they can do that with, or do it with people that donate their bodies to science. You don't need to be cutting children up and having them go through the process of all the surgeries to fix the problems that were done in the beginning. And I believe totally in letting the child grow up to be who they are and what they are, and then go from there.
Absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly on that one. Let me ask you, do you feel that being both male and female is an advantage, and it is part of our human, I got tongue-tied there, part of our human evolution?
I don't know about it being an advantage. I've coped with being who I am with less stress. I mean, I can be male or female. It depends on what side of the fence I'm following on. I can walk outside. Like right now, I can walk outside with a pair of jeans and a T-shirt and pull my hair back into a ponytail, and people will look at me and say, "Is that a boy or a girl?" That's how I blend. I blend into society as either male or female. My female, growing up to be a boy, I learned to be a guy around guys. They have this thing called male privileges. Mark, I'm sure that you're aware of those privileges. It's a certain type of attitude that the men have. And when I came out to my friends, I lost all my male privileges. They said I didn't, but
I hate to cut you off, Shauna, but I believe, and that's why I ask these questions, I believe that we are a gift, and I believe that we are evolution, because we need to change this whole gender box thing that society has created. And I think Mother Earth or Mother Nature is speaking out, and that's why more and more of us are being born, whether we're transgender or intersex. We see it in plant life, we see it in animal life, and this whole black or white, male or female, good or bad scenario, this duality needs to be thrown out the window. And as transgender and intersex individuals, we need to be proud of who we are and show the world that, yes, we have the same right as everybody else, and no, we're not freaks. We are proud transgender intersex individuals, and we are here for a reason, to teach humanity something.
We're unique. That's how you look at it. I just explain to people we're the unique individuals. There's Jane and Dick. Okay, those are the two, the male and female. And then God decided that he wanted a unique individual, so then he made the trans and intersex. That's how you look at it. We're no different than anybody else. We just have a little bit more. And some of us are a lot smarter than others.
Exactly. They're very, very talented individuals. I mean, we've been interviewing people for the longest time now, transgender individuals, intersex individuals, and very, very talented, unique, creative, outspoken, very powerful healing abilities. And the world needs to see this. Instead of seeing people that are afraid to be who they are, that they feel ashamed of who they are, we need to be proud, walk with our heads held high, and show the world we're here, and, hey, we're good. Yeah. That's right. Trans and intersex power. I say hallelujah. Yes. All right.
Right. It's being trans or being intersex. the children today, oh my God, they are so brave to come out as quickly as they did. I mean, in the last, I'd say 10 years, oh my God, and the changes, the difference the medical field is doing with the blockers and whatnot. Had they had this like 40 years ago, I probably wouldn't be standing where I am right now.
Exactly.
My life would be totally different. But you know what? I'm glad I did it my way, because somebody had asked me, they said, if you can go back and become the woman that you are at a younger age, would you do it? And I said, no, I wouldn't. And they're like, well, why not? And I said, because of what I have learned through my years. I went into the service. I worked like a man. I got paid like a man. Got out of the service. I talk to service members all the time, and they're like, wow, how did you get away with that? Well, being intersex, I can be anybody I want. It's like a chameleon. I can blend into the society, and nobody would know it, which is a gift to me, I guess. It saves me from getting hurt. But all in all, what was I saying before? I do this to myself. I start thinking ahead of myself.
Well, we have a quick announcement that we want to make. Actually, it's a study, and so if you hold on for 1 second, Shauna will get right back to you. There's an actual study on the Medical Daily that they're doing this brain mapping gender identity, what makes a boy a girl. The recent brain mapping study investigates gender identity in a new, more scientific way. A study published last year and conducted at the Laboratory of Neuroimaging at UCLA School of Medicine explored the extent to which brain anatomy is associated with gender identity. The degree to which one identifies as male or female has a profound impact on one's life, the author wrote.
Yet there is an unlimited understanding of what contributes to this important characteristic termed gender identity. Many who lived at variance to their birth gender, as well as many in the scientific field, would hardly agree. Specifically, the UCLA researchers chose to investigate potential neuroanatomical variations associated with transsexualism. In particular, they applied a whole brain approach in which they would compare the thickness of the cortex across the lateral and medial brain cortical surfaces at thousands of surface points.
That's actually the medial brain. The cerebral cortex contains approximately 80% of the neurons of the central nervous system and contributes largely to factors such as social awareness, attitudes, and decision-making, the author wrote. They also found that the MTF transsexuals, as compared to the control participants, had thicker corticals, outer layers of the cerebrum, both within regions of the left hemisphere and right hemisphere.
Regional gray matter characteristics in MTF transsexuals are more similar to the pattern found in men, i.e. in subjects sharing biological sex, than in women. The authors wrote, however, we also noticed that brain characteristics in MTF transsexuals and in controlled men were not fully identical. The thicker areas within the left hemisphere of MTF transsexuals included the frontal and orbitofrontal cortex involved in decision-making, central sulcus, stop correcting me, perisylvan region, have to process language, and paracentral gyrus.
And within the right hemisphere include the pre-post-central gyrus involved in sense of touch. Parietal cortex integrates sensory information. Temporal cortex involved with visual information. The proscenius, which is concerned with the reflection upon self and aspect of consciousness. Fusiform, lingual, and orbital frontal gyrus. The current study provides evidence that brain anatomy is associated with gender identity, where measures and MTF transsexuals appear to be shifted away from gender-congruent men, wrote the author. And there's proof right there, that we're not just making all this stuff up.
Nope.
Right.
Do you have anything else to add?
Well, actually, I'm writing a book. I've been writing a book for the past 4 years, my biography, and it's going to be an explanation of what my life is about, so it can help others in their lives as well. I mean, I believe in helping others out. Like when someone has cancer, I will sit with them and help them through the pain and the misery and the anxiety that they're having, as well as when they're coming out. I tried to
There's 10 seconds left of the live show. This will go into a pre-recorded mode, and people will be able to listen to the show in its entirety. Just wanted the listeners to know that it's going to be cut off live, but you can listen to the rest of the interview on demand on either
all right,
on Blog Talk Radio.
Damn, 30 minutes.
So where can the listeners expect this book?
Yeah, you sound like my publisher. Soon. I get these writer blocks and I get freaked out. Yes, I will post it on Facebook and all the blogs and some of the sites for the transgenders and intersex when my book comes out. So, and it's not to get rich; it's just to explain that we are all the same. You know, every last one of us. And my book is called Almost Home.
Very nice.
I want a signed copy.
Yes.
I'll send you a copy of it. Actually, I have the manuscript. I'll share it with you, and then it'll leave you hanging as you're reading it. That's the best part of it.
I look forward to it. Absolutely.
Well, we want to thank you so much. Yeah. If you wanted to add anything else, you can do that. If not, we want to thank you. Goodbye.
No, if anybody has any questions, they can go to my Facebook and tap away and let me know what they're thinking, and I'll answer the question as best as I can. I believe in answering every question that people ask me. So.
And it's very important. It's very important for people to learn, not just people in our community, but people outside of the community. Because they, too, will have a son, a daughter, a grandson, or a granddaughter one day, and they will need to know how to deal with the situation properly.
Kids are more accepting than their parents are. So, you know, I have godson. I have quite a few nieces and nephews, and they're all accepting of me. My nieces call me Auntie Shauna. And that was after a week of talking to them, and next thing you know, they're all addressing me as an aunt instead of uncle. So, but like my father, he's not very accepting. So he's old school, and we'll get by it. I mean, he'll have to either come out or he'll die with it. You know, that's how I look at it.
He's got to realize that this is your life. He did help bring you to life by contributing, but he has to realize that it is your life. So hopefully one day he'll understand that and realize the mistake he has made.
Exactly. I played the man for a long time. Now I get to play the woman.
Exactly. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and thank you so much for sharing your story with our listeners. We want to thank everyone that took part in the chat. We want to thank everyone that listens to the show. And there is no show this Thursday. It's 4th of July. We'll be back and running next Tuesday. 6:30 p.m. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Shauna.
Thank you, Shauna.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, you're very welcome. Hope you guys have a great evening. And remember, we love you. But remember to always love yourselves, too. Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Good night, Shauna.